Good afternoon, wherever you are. And thank you so much for just tuning in with us here for Tuesday Talks at 3. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a platform where women help one another on their daily journey in this sphere of life or the wheel of life. My name is Lucy Macridis, and I am an expert in helping women get unstuck and onto their true potential through unlocking their limiting beliefs. I'm a certified life coach, I'm an online facilitator, and I am a mentor. So once again, thank you so much for joining us. As you can see on the screen, I've got my guest there with me. That is Charity. Hi, Charity.
Hello, Lucy.
Glad to have you here, Charity. It's going to be an exciting time for us today as we bring January to a close. You know, closing on 2020, we are so grateful for every day anew in our lives that we are given another opportunity. And so far, God has given us an opportunity of 26 days and running for the beginning of this year. A lot of hope is into this, a lot of faith, a lot of trust. And exciting things are happening because we are actually calling them and attracting them to us. So this month, we have been talking about doing what you love. So Charity is here today to share her own personal story. And Charity and I, we know each other from when? How far back, Charity?
My God, that's like almost 25 years.
Wow, 25 years. And maybe somebody listening to this is barely 25 years. But that just says a lot about our experience. And what people may not know signing in is that Charity and I, our background is tourism and hospitality. Tourism and hospitality. Does it run in your veins, Charity?
Oh, it does. It keeps calling out to me all the time. I run away, it calls me back. I run away, it calls me back.
Well, the beautiful thing about hospitality, I really think, is the customer service, the customer-centric aspect of tourism and hospitality. You know, to this day, Charity, I would be in a restaurant and having a meal or just speaking with my friend, and I notice that someone is trying to get the attention of the waiter, and I'm busy there trying to get the waiter to get to that person.
I know.
Or even when I'm in a lift, I tend to stand aside and allow people to go in. Now, you try doing this in your house. Do you know you'll be left standing there for enough minutes because people are just rushing into the lift.
Yeah.
It's just the hospitality. It's a beautiful career choice for me. And I'm sure you'll agree with me, Charity. It's a beautiful space. Being people-centric. But before we get that, I'm getting ahead of myself. Just a small introduction of Lmc Consultancy. At LMC, we run a few services that are so profound in these times of COVID. And these services are life coaching services. So we either do group life coaching, where you come a minimum of 3, a maximum of 5 people, and we talk about life. We just talk about the things that are happening. What are those things you should start doing now? What should you stop doing for sure? And what should you continue doing? Because a lot of mental anguish has happened in the past year. And these group sessions, they're therapeutic. I'm not a counselor, so don't get me wrong. It's about the life coaching. What lessons have you learned that you want to share? And when you walk away from there, what is it that you're going forward to continue doing or to start doing? So that is group life coaching. Then there's one-on-one coaching. Again, it's all about clarity. And right now we're doing special offers on Clarity 2021 goal setting. We've got the Lady in Waiting, and the Lady in Waiting is for teenage girls, preteen up to the age of 18. But this will start in the school holidays because now we are all back in school. Otherwise, we were doing it every month. It's about social etiquette. It's about helping these young ladies, empowering them to gracefully transition into society. With which things, you may ask? Social media etiquette, guys. I think, Charity, you know about social media etiquette and how it can be very intrusive.
For sure.
So intrusive. Yeah. So social
media. We
media
need to give our children guidance.
We need to give them guidance because it is the way that we are communicating. And if we haven't learned anything in the past 1 year, the digital space is actually the area of growth right now. So social media is a place to be. And if you're not there, you're missing out big time. But there's some etiquette that comes with it. Dining etiquette, whether we're talking about work etiquette, when we're talking about deportment, dressing, just being able to impact these young women, ladies in waiting, as I call them. I really love these sessions because the youth are they're so full of knowledge, but also full of innocence and naivety. So with the experience that I have and I bring on board, and I remember my 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old self, I am able to bring something to the table. So this will be back in April for Lady in Waiting. Now, the most exciting one is the Awakening Self program. This is running. We did our first cohort, January, first week. The February cohort is starting on the 8th through to the 12th. That's 5 days. Every lunch hour, it's 1 hour. The cost is 2,500 shillings. And we go through the aspects of life. Who are you? Who do you want to be? What will it take? What do you need to sacrifice? It's exciting stuff. And we give you tools that you go away with and start. I mean, the cohort of January, we are still on the phone, still on WhatsApp. Things are happening. There's a transformation. You want to be part of this. Now, here's a beautiful thing. This is a month of February, and that is a month of love that is coming up. And we are going to be sharing mapenzi. Loosely translated, we're going to share love. So there is right now a hashtag trending at hashtag sharing mapenzi. This is what I want you to do right now for those of you who are watching us. I want you to go onto your IG and I want you to search for me, which is at lucy.macridis. That is my handle. When you get there, you will find the little poster that has got the month of love is around the corner. Share this poster and share it using the hashtag sharing mapenzi for a chance. Listen to this, for a chance to win a seat at my Awakening Self program. You heard that right. A chance to win a seat at my Awakening Self program. And you know what you do? From the 3 lucky winners, you will be able to gift somebody this seat. So there, we're sharing love, eh? We are sharing love. So jump onto my IG right now at lucy.macridis and share the love. Like, share it, and let's see. Let's start that movement going. It's a transformation. Be the one who is sharing the love. Be the one who's sharing the love. And all that is what we do at LMC. And there's so much more, but we won't get into it. You may ask me why I'm an expert. Charity. Kenyans love to know, why are you an expert? What are your credits?
I know.
What are what makes you an expert? Okay, so I owe you this, guys. I am a life coach, and doesn't mean I'm coming to teach you about life. It's about my life experiences. And I am authentic and real to set out my life experiences before you. I am authentic and real to show you the limiting beliefs that I had that were holding me back. And some of them are still holding me back. So it's work in progress. We are human. And some of these limiting beliefs are like, I'm not good enough. I don't have the time. I am not articulate enough. I am not educated enough. These are things that are real that we all experience. I don't have the finances. These are all limiting beliefs that you need to come face to face with. And Awakening Self allows us to go through that. It really does. So that is why I'm saying I'm an expert, because my experiences, we can share with yours. Yeah. And we actually find ways to move forward. The addition that I have is tools. And these tools will help you to move forward. So I am an expert because in the hospitality industry, we got hit so hard. And when we were down, we had to figure out a way to come back up. We had to reevaluate who we are, what it is that we were doing. We had to rethink our businesses. And that is what I did. And I found that my potential was out there in Awakening Self. And that's what gave birth to this program that is going into its 2nd cohort this February. I really would love for you to join and let's share our experiences. Yeah. So I found my voice. I am owning my voice and I'm on the journey of embracing that very voice. So I invite you to be part of this. Like our page and get the opportunity to be invited to our We Are Connected group. And there we share exciting things that you don't want to miss out on. So share your story with us. Well, so we are back now to Charity. Charity is here today to share her story. As we said, this January, it's all been about the Japanese concept of ikigai. Now, ikigai is about what you love doing, what you're good at, what the world needs, and getting paid for it. So, what can you get paid for? You know, Charity, 2020 showed me that hustling needs to be taken seriously. What do you think about the hustle?
I think for a lot of people, the side hustle became the real hustle. And the realization that you have to get out of your comfort zone just for you to survive,
Yes.
that has grown some people. But then those who have not taken that role of coming out and doing something creative and different and looking at ways of making your passions work for you, have really gone down. But anybody who stood up and said, I'm falling forward and not backwards, and I'm going to look at things from a different dimension, those people have survived. So
Yes.
one, believe in self. You have to believe in self, believe in possibilities. There's a lovely site that I love watching, and it's called Believe Nation. And I think, Lucy, you must have followed Believe Nation, have you?
Yes.
Believe Nation is also an awesome site that people can look into and be able to follow and understand and learn why believe in self, believe in what you do is really, really important. So if you think that your side hustle is just a hustle, remember it can become the main hustle.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is so true. For me, I actually watched during that time. It was something to laugh at the time, but now in retrospect, I'm just thinking, wow, people did not know they had that kind of talent until they were faced with a crisis. And the one I'm talking about is food. For instance, you would see there was a lot of posts about um, order your dinner now, and it was
Yes.
things like, ugali and chapati. And I kept on asking myself, why would we be ordering now and we are all at home? Charity,
Yes.
we realize that not all of us are adept in the kitchen, male or female. It doesn't mean that we have those skills, but then you realize there are those who have the skills and who are able to use it to make money. Because number one, they either love doing it or they're good at it.
Yes. Yeah.
Number two, the community needed it. People were cooped up together, and suddenly you were in the house and you realize how much work there is in running a house 24 hours a day.
Very
It's actually
true.
a lot, yes, because you had somebody doing it. Now you're doing it yourself. It's when you realize how many dishes you can wash in a day, how many times you can be cooking, those beds that are being made, that living room where those cushions are being pumped and poofed and all the time, the sweeping because of the number of people just walking around the house. And if you've got plants, the watering of the plants, if you've got dogs, the feeding of the dogs, man, this is a full-time job. And some people who are early adopters realized, hey, I'm good at making chapos. You know what? I am going to sell my chapos.
Yeah.
And I want to imagine, Charity, that in the beginning, there must have been those voices in their head saying, seriously, you want to sell chapos? What are people going to say about you?
I know.
Okay, imagine now you're getting a text from me, Charity, that I'm selling chapos. Now you are excited. Wow, chapos, Lucy, where can we? But Lucy is busy thinking, oh, they're thinking less of me because now I'm in the kitchen. I've gotten to this point where now I'm cooking and selling to be able to keep a roof over my head. Hello, like you said, those are the guys who survived.
That's true.
Those are the guys who survive. So your mindset, and I'm sure we're going to be talking about mindset a bit later. But however, now as we look at it, and ikigai and those four quadrants, when they come together, it's about fulfillment. It's about fulfillment. So Charity, I'm going to just invite you formally in a minute. But first, if we could just look at Facebook and see that we are live. And yes, we are. And we can see that Nancy has joined us. Karibu sana, Nancy. Good to see you, and thank you for always supporting our Tuesday Talks at 3. And today the topic continues a January fulfillment, which is doing what you love and getting paid for it. So our guest today is Charity Githinji. She's the lead consultant at Tandaza Africa. She is a seasoned brand management and marketeer with extensive knowledge in the hospitality and the tourism industry, with over 27 years of experience. She is instrumental in connecting East Africa and the rest of Africa in product development and marketing. She has traveled extensively in Africa, Middle East, and America with the sole aim of benchmarking, product comparison, and sourcing of markets. In fact, Charity was recently recognized as one of the top 100 women leaders in tourism in Africa. What a great achievement. Well, she wears many hats, and we hope to tap into those areas of her life for inspiration. Karibu sana, Charity. Karibu sana. Ladies, we would love to hear your highlights. Please share with us your stories in the chat. And just about fulfillment, we can see Sarah Wamai has joined us. Karibu sana, Sarah. Charity, I'm just going to jump right into it and just ask you, what is Tandaza Africa all about? What is it that you do there?
Before we jump into it, I will be very candid and say my marketing career, I'll tell this story. We worked with Lucy in a company called Londra Hotels. If you remember Londra Hotels, Lucy, okay?
Blast from the past.
So Lucy decided to leave Londra, and there was a position that was vacant. And I had never been to a sales class. I was just a secretary in the food and beverage department. But then I said, I'm going to take up that position. And I went out and built a case and showcased that, yes, I am the right candidate for that position, even if I did not have a degree I needed somebody with a BCom, and I do some masters in what, and I'm like, what the hell, but I'm gonna get that job. Yeah. So what did I do? First, I said, I'm gonna get that job, so I spoke it out, and then I believed I would get it. And those were pretty big shoes to fill in, okay, because Lucy was all there traveling and all that. I said, I wanna be like that girl, okay? So what I did, I built my case, and I gave statistics that showed how much revenues I was bringing in, even if it meant that I was just an F&B and banqueting secretary. And guess who got the job? I did. So I literally took over from Lucy. So what I say, and that's one of my mantras, is that whatever you do it with excellence. If you're sweeping, sweep with excellence. Yeah. Own the process of what you're doing. Don't do a job for the sake of doing a job, or don't do an activity for the sake of doing an activity. So now to Tandaza. I needed to say that first, because when you say we come a long way off with Lucy, that's literally what it means. It's been more than 25 years, I think. That was, I think, in 19... actually, no, we will say it, Lucy. Yeah, what years? That was in 1997, 98, around there. So anyway, we're pretty young girls. We're still pretty, we're still hot. Now back to Tandaza. Tandaza is a company, and first and foremost, Tandaza means to spread out or to unveil. And it's a company that, and in Zulu it means to pray. So all those things brought out together. My purpose would be to reach out to every corner of this world in terms of developing tourism and developing communities, because you cannot achieve anything without communities. You cannot have a sustainable business without communities. And communities would mean your employees, it would mean the people you're serving, it would mean your suppliers, it would mean the people around you. So we are in the MICE business with digital marketing. We curate events, we curate activities. And yes, like Richard Branson says, when you're given a task, don't say no, go and figure it out. So whichever task or opportunity we come across, we never say no. What we do is that we say, yes, we can do it. And then we do our research, and look for partners that we can work with to make that task achievable. So that's Tandaza Africa for you.
Wow, wow, that's amazing. I mean, we're listening there. The first thing, even before you jump to Tandaza. Oh, hi, Jane. Nice to see you. Karibu sana. Karibu sana. We are talking here with Charity Githinji of Tandaza Africa. She's just told us what she does. But before that, she talked about taking chances and she saw an opportunity right there. She gave a history of how we know each other. And that just opens up a lot of discussion as to two people who are working in the same place. And one person will come back and say, "This is such great opportunity. I love working there. We are being listened to. It's people-centric." And the other person who works in the same company who has a totally different take. You know, it's not a great place to work. There are no opportunities. People don't listen to you. And you know, that's why we are told, do not judge, but come and ask exactly what is behind. So here's Charity who took a chance. She saw an opportunity and she dove straight into it. And what was the worst thing that could have happened, Charity? What is the worst thing that could have happened? You would not have gotten
You
the
have
job.
told me no.
Yes, and you'd have just gone back to your department, you know. But
Exactly. Yeah.
nothing ventured, nothing gained is what I believe in. So just the fact that you picked that opportunity and jumped right into it. And I'm just looking at the notes that I was writing as you were speaking. And you said that therefore in everything that we do, we have to apply excellence, you know, and we need to do it because of the passion of doing it. I love the fact that in every small little thing we apply excellence. So again, it makes me think about the Lady in Waiting program that I run. And it's as simple as that. It is trying to get these ladies to understand excellence in everything that they do. You know, Charity, I have these girls doing PowerPoint presentations. And at that age, they've never heard of a PowerPoint presentation. So they're learning something new. And I don't give them much other than go back and ask your guardian about PowerPoint. And usually the first PowerPoint that they give me is literally black and white. It is so bland. And why I allow them to do this is so that when I'm giving feedback, I am saying, who are you? What is your personality? Does your personality come out in that PowerPoint? And slowly they begin to realize that there are very many aspects to PowerPoint that can make it exciting, whether it's animation, whether it's adding videos, images, whether it's adding color, font. And the next PowerPoint that they do actually comes out and shows their characteristic and their personality. And therein starts the excellence. We go ahead and we set tables. And the first time they set a table, it's a very simple setting. And when I say simple, I'm not talking about that they've put limited forks and knives. It's that they most probably don't have a tablecloth. They most probably don't have a table mat, or they don't have a flower, you know, a vase with a stem. Yes. They most probably don't have that because for them, it is just a job that they're doing. But when they begin to apply themselves and put in a personality touch, you start to see that the table changes, it transforms. And by the time we are graduating, which is 8 lessons later, and I'm looking at the table that they have set for a meal, you know, Charity, the excellence comes through. And therefore, I am so happy that you've mentioned about excellence in everything that we do. So for you, my audience, let's listen to what Charity is advising us here. I mean, hers is that excellence in all her interactions. That's what she does. Why don't you try some excellence today? Something small that you can think, whatever it is that comes to mind. Perhaps it's the way you're going to apply your lipstick with excellence. You're paying attention to it. It's in the small things, guys, that make the difference. The small things that set you apart from everybody else. Charity, you talked about Tandaza and you broke it down for us. And I love the fact that you alluded to working with partners. Apart from knowing what your product offering is, you alluded to working with partners. And for me, this is a great thing because in life, you're not going to go anywhere on your own. You'll get there faster. You will get there faster. But you do want to travel with people. You do want to travel with people because there's a lot of learnings along the way. And I love that you have shared that with us. Hi, Jackie. Jackie Munyeri is with us. Great to see you, Jackie. Oh, Jane has commented. Lucy Macridis, I like the way you bring out your teaching. Oh, thank you so much, Jane. Thank you for being here with us. So, Charity, now that we know what Tandaza does, yeah, how did you arrive at this choice? Because it's tourism and hospitality. How did you arrive at this choice of career to be your hustle?
It's very, very interesting. And I'm glad that Jackie is on the call. Jackie is actually my cousin. And her father, her late father, was my very good friend. And he inspired me when I was a 5-year-old girl.
Yes.
Because he was, first and foremost, he bought me my first red shoes. And Jackie, if you go to your parents' wedding photo, I'm right there with a pair of red shoes and a blue dress, and I'm on the lineup with the maids, and I'm not dressed like the maids. Jackie. So Jackie's father is the one who got me interested in the hospitality industry because he worked in block hotels. Do you remember block hotels?
Yes, yes.
He was the MD of block hotels. So during our holidays, we'd travel. He'd take us to Bulgaria. He'd take us to Lake Naivasha Hotel. You remember those days?
Yes.
So I got curious about travel, and I loved traveling from an early age. So for me, the hospitality industry is something that I started off loving from an early age because I want to travel. I want to do things differently. I want to see new places. And that's how I started off in the hospitality industry.
Wow. Wow. Charity, that just comes out with something very clearly, You watched an adult and the way he carried himself, and he was your role model, whether you knew it or not at that time. And he planted this seed in your mind. And this seed in your mind is the one that gave birth to this choice of work and career. How powerful is that? So the question that we would always ask ourselves, how are we presenting ourselves? How are we showing up? That when people are looking at us, they get inspired. Are we leading people in the right direction? Are we leading people to destruction? It's so important that even as we do the things that we love, that we are able to inspire. And I love that you were inspired. And I can see Jackie is, she said, hello, ladies, and she's got her thumb up there for you, Charity. So great to see you here, Jackie. Thank you so much. We've got, Sheila is here today. Great to see you, Sheila. Rosemary Odima, it's great to see you. And Rosebel Mogambi. Wow, Rosebel Mogambi, karibu sana. Well, ladies, today we're talking about doing what you love and getting paid for it. And our guest is Charity Githinji. We've just been asking Charity about Tandaza and how she arrived at her choice of work. But I am more interested right now that, she started it off. What voices were you hearing in your head, Charity? And how did you overcome these voices?
One of the things when you're starting off, especially on the entrepreneurship journey, is that will I make it? That's the first thing that comes to mind. You're afraid because you have been pushed on by a salary at the end of the month, but it gets to a point in life when you just want to be out there and grow yourself. And I remember quitting work, and I go into my bedroom and I sat down on the floor. I love sitting on the floor, by the way. It gives me I love sitting on the floor. I'm so happy sitting on the floor. And then I said, I want to start a company. So first and foremost, the colors, I wanted vibrant colors, purple, royal, which is royal, yellow, white. So I came up with the colors. I wanted something that was vibrant. And then I said, okay, now this gives me a lot of energy for me to move to the next place. And then along the way, when we started off, that was in 2006, I looked for a friend and he said, okay, you're jobless. That was one of my first lessons, you're jobless. Can we partner in this? And she said yes. But then Lucy, I ended up doing everything.
Oh dear.
Everything, she did nothing. So one of the lessons that you must learn as an entrepreneur, if you're partnering with anybody in your business, it has to be somebody with a shared vision. Otherwise, go it alone. Okay? When you want to start off, at some point the voices come and will tell you can't make it, stick to a job. But if you feel deep down it's time for you to move on, take that leap of faith and just move on. Along the way, you will find a way of surviving, and for sure you will survive. If every one of us survived 2020, yeah, we're gonna
Oh,
survive.
oh
In
yes,
business, you shall
definitely.
survive.
Yes. Yes. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
yeah,
Oh wow. Oh wow. So
yeah.
so what I'm
So just
hearing,
do it.
that voice that you had is, will I make it? Will I make it?
Yes.
How did you overcome
Mm.
that voice? Because that voice can be very loud, and it can actually, how do I drown out your passion, drown it out so that you even forget this is what you started out doing.
You've just said it. If you're passionate about something, just go out and do it. Yeah. So the passion I had to go out and build my own business. I've always been a business person. I would sell stuff in the boot of my car, go to Dubai. I'll buy stuff, put them in the boot of my car and sell. When people are having lunch, I'm busy trying to make, my money here and there. But
Yes.
once you decide that you want to go into business, into entrepreneurship, forget about what your relatives will tell you. Forget about that voice that tells you don't do it. Forget about what people will think. Because
Yeah.
along the way, when I started off, we got again post-election violence in Kenya, if you remember very well. So again, tourism was not a priority to many people. And
Yeah.
I remember when the
Yeah.
post-election violence hit, I was in Tanzania doing some consultancy.
Yeah.
And I decided I want to come back home to be with my family. And at the airport, the immigration guys, they told me your country is burning. Where you going back? I said, that's my country. That's where my family is. So I'm going back. It doesn't matter. So home is home. And
Yes.
after I came back, I continued with business. And I remember again now having to do things. You talked about cooking food. Lucy, I did cook food to survive. I would go, I'm a good cook. So I would do drop-offs. I went to National Bank where I had a friend. I said I do lunches, I do young meals, I give them a menu. I went to another one. So in the morning, I would go to Marikiti, I buy food stuff, I come and make fresh food. By 12, I'm doing drop-offs
Look at that.
of food. I do the drop-offs. I go eating in the car. I go to my office in the afternoon and I do tourism. In the evening, I come back, I collect all the lunch boxes, and that paid my bills. So don't give a damn about what anybody will say. They can say what they will say. They did that. I did that for for quite a bit of time before I went to Tanzania in 2008. So you shouldn't care about what somebody says. Just do what you need to do.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Wow, that is very profound. That is just so profound, Charity.
Thank
It's
you.
actually taken the words out of my mouth. Just to think of the passion, and I'm just reading what Rosebell here is saying. Rosebell says, I have a question for Charity. How does she sustain that drive? Because she's one person who doesn't abandon projects. Listen to that, Charity. She's that one person who doesn't abandon projects that she's committed to. She just accelerates. Look at that. Charity. She has a
Rosebell.
question. How do you sustain that drive?
I don't give up easily because once I believe in something and I set my mind to doing it, it doesn't matter whatever it takes, I will do it. And I will ensure that my project survives and my project is successful. So once I believe in something, I'm passionate about it, I will do it. And if my heart truly feels that this is something I should do, I'm not going to give up. And because of my mantra, excellence in all my interactions, um, I can't afford to have negativity because if I have negativity within my space, then that will bring me down. And one of the things that I avoid, even friends, is anybody who has negative energy around them.
Okay.
You could be my friend, but if I realize you have negative energy around you, you're the one person that you know how the doctor says take one times a day.
Yes.
I think I will meet with you once a year. I will not want to be around you. But if you give me a positive vibe, oh, we're gonna hang out, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's actually a very good answer that you've given. It's actually pulling in from the things that we are asking you, those negative voices. And one of them was, I will not make it. And you choose passion over that. So if you do have the passion and you stay on the course. And it's interesting that you say that because these little voices When they come out, in LMC, we call them kamutu. There's an exercise that we do in our sessions. And kamutu, loosely translated in Kiswahili colloquially, is a small person. So these small persons and peoples in your head, as they are speaking, they can actually derail you and paralyze you. I choose to use kamutu as a platform to transcend, so that I know that the voice that is telling me, you will not make it, Lucy. I listen to the voice, I acknowledge the voice, and I say, move out of the way. Do you
Mhm.
know you're just a
Mhm.
tenant in my head? You're not the owner, I'm the owner. So let
Mhm.
me do my
Mhm.
thing. Doesn't mean the negative voices will not come. But what helps me override it is the passion. And I love that you say the same thing. And what will people think? You are advocating for doing you. Just do you. You know, they've got their own passions, let them do theirs. You're doing you, and I'm
There's
loving that.
actually, Lucy, I'm going to stop. There's a button I use, and that button starts with I. It's called ignore. And I tell a lot of people, if I see something is not working for me, I always say, press I. And I totally will ignore you.
I love that.
It
Press I,
works perfectly.
ignore.
And one of the 48 laws of power is silence. So if we are going to get to antagonize each other because possibly your ideas are different from mine, I will choose silence. And I'll not push you. Maybe one day you realize that possibly I was right. But yeah, ignore and silence really work for me as well.
So that you can just keep your head down and get your work done. Fantastic.
Again, fantastic.
Yeah, and you stay focused, and those and the negativity then just goes out of the window. You choose to walk away from that negativity. You know, when you purge yourself of negativity and people then start to tell you that you have a sunny disposition, it did not happen overnight. You purposely set out to have a sunny disposition. And people can come with their negativity and they'll just find a block. So I'm loving that. I'm loving that. So don't give up easily. Rosebell, are you listening? I have written down, so I want to read from my paper. Don't give up easily. You got to believe in your passion, Rosebell, and correct me if I'm wrong, Charity here. And that mantra of excellence in all interactions, you choose positivity also, and also you avoid the negative energy. But the one that Jane is writing here is press I. You press I for ignore, and you apply silence, and those things will work for you, Roosevelt. So that's how she sustains her drive. She stays focused. Well, we're going to move on and just find out from Charity, because I'm very sure that all of you really want to know what kind of opportunities Charity has and how she sees them in life. Because there's one thing that I believe: when you focus on problems, all you'll ever get are more problems. You know, those people who keep on saying, oh, I am having such a hard time, nothing ever seems to work. You know what? Nothing ever seems to work. But when you focus on on possibilities, on positivity, on advantages, when you focus on opportunities, you start saying, but you're lucky. It's because you're connected. No, it's what you attract. So, Charity, I believe that when you attract these opportunities and possibilities, you know, that is what you get. You get more of them. So let us talk about the available opportunities, in your opinion, that are available now, that are in the space now, that we need to grab, in your opinion.
In my opinion, opportunities are always there. It doesn't matter. But if you decide you're going to have a sleepy head and do nothing and not use your brain, you will not see the opportunities. If you decide you're going to have a negative disposition, you will not see the opportunities.
Yeah.
So for instance, I'll give a very simple example. I lived in Tanzania for close to 12 years, 11 years. And I brought change in the tourism sector. At that particular point, I remember Tanzanians would not cross-sell Kenya. But then I looked at the opportunities that were going through the East African region, and I told them, this is where you can be able to harness. Instead of just selling one destination, you can sell 3 destinations or 4 destinations. Don't give away an opportunity because you only want to sell your country. And that way, we actually formed an association that now, we train them. And I'll do that for free. I wouldn't charge for that. That's another thing I'm going to talk about in terms of offering services for free and what that translates to.
Okay.
So now there's already an arm or a charter, East Africa Tourism Platform, but Tanzania Charter, and that group of people have changed their mindset in terms of ways of doing business. When I came back to Kenya in 2019, I looked and said, because I came back, not in the right, I was not ready to come back, but I had to come back. And then I looked and I said, okay, I have come home. People always say it's so difficult to find the work. It is this, it is this, it is this. I'm like,
Exactly.
And then I said, I'm going to give back to tourism development in my country, which is Nakuru County. So what did I do? I drove to Nakuru County. I didn't know anybody in the county offices. I knocked on the door and I said, I want to see the CC of Tourism. I was given an appointment. I saw the CC of Tourism. So I had discussions with him. I had done research on what they're doing in terms of tourism, and I gave him my ideas. And then he said, tell you what, we're having a stakeholders meeting in Naivasha on Saturday. Can you attend the stakeholders meeting? I said, yes, I will be there. So I came back to Nairobi. After about 3 weeks, I drove back. I drove to Naivasha. I attended the stakeholders session. Attending the stakeholders session, our CS Balala comes on board. There's all these people talking about all these good things. For me, I'm watching. Lucy, I know nobody. So I'm watching. Then I go. And then I said, okay. Then Balala says, you guys can come up with activities and stuff. That's how I decided I'm going to do a love festival.
Oh, yes, the Love Festival, Charity.
Exactly.
Yes, of course.
So I decided I'm going to do the Love Festival because Balala said, you can do something around flowers. So there it was. And he said it's going to be in February. And then I remember after we were done, actually the only person I knew was Dr. Radia. But you see now, all those big shots are together with this event, so you don't even have an opportunity. So what did I do? Drove back to Nairobi. Got some people to start designing concepts. Remember, I've not been paid a single cent.
Yeah.
So they designed concepts. I told them what I want. And then I called the CEC after a couple of days and I told him, I want to see you. I knew what I want to do. He said, come and see me on a certain date. I dropped to Nakuru again.
Yeah.
I did my presentation. And he said, how lovely. Now we have another stakeholders meeting in Nakuru. With Kenya Tourism Board. Can you come back? I said, yes, I will come back.
Of course.
I will come back. So I went back again. Okay? Going back, I listened in, and I went with somebody who was in events and very well established. Because remember I said I believe in partnerships. So I thought this is somebody who can partner. Yeah. Halfway through the event, the guy tells me I'm bored. I'm like, wow. And then I told him, my job is not done here. Because out of all the guys who have spoken, I need to meet like 3-4 people. I want to have a one-on-one with them.
Yes,
so
make a connection.
Yeah, so for you, if you go, just go. Remember your vision is your vision. Once you start something, listen, your vision, you are the one who ensures that your vision comes to fruition. So after the meeting, I sat on the high table. Obviously, I have a knack of sitting on the high table sometimes. And I told them, this is what I want to do. And yes. All the people who are concerned. They gave me yet another appointment. So again, I dropped back to Nairobi. After 2 weeks, I went back again. And now did a presentation to all the stakeholders. That's how Naivasha Love Festival was built. But can you see the journey?
I know. I mean,
you have to be ready.
Yes, you put in so much. And I think we all need to be cognizant of the fact that with opportunities come risks. And from what I'm hearing from you is that you gave up your time. You were not charging people for this service. On top of that, you had to keep on moving back and forth, the inconvenience to you, but your vision was bigger. It was bigger than what was going on at that moment. You came in and felt that people were saying, oh, there are no jobs, there are no opportunities. You went right in and you took the bull by the horns. You were relying on this cash flow that you had, if you had any. No one was paying you anything. But at the end of the day, you trusted a partner that you had gone with. And the lesson that you're giving us here is that the people that you partner with have to have the same vision as you. Otherwise, you're going to be pulling in different directions. But it was your personal time that you sacrificed for the love of what it is that you wanted to do. And that is your passion. I mean, these are the risks that come with opportunities. And like we said in the beginning, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Wow, you even gave free services, Charity. How were you giving free services?
It is in giving that you receive. That's all I'll say.
Bas, I love that. I love that. It is in giving that you receive. And today, Charity, like I said, was recognized as, what was it again, Charity? You were recognized as one of the top 100 women leaders in tourism in Africa. You were recently recognized as one of the top 100 women leaders in tourism in Africa. Now I can understand. You are selfless in what it is that you're doing. And these are lessons that we must be able to give to our audience. And we're talking here with Charity, ladies, and I really love you to share your experiences. Maybe in this case is in self-giving, but more in the belief of your purpose, of your why, and how compelling it is. Charity told us that you've got to believe in self, you've got to believe in possibilities, and you don't give up. So, what is your story? Oh, I like what Sheila is saying here. Sheila says, go, get, give. Fantastic. Jane is saying, I like your determination, Charity. Oh, she loves your determination. I hope that we are getting something from this because it's just amazing how Charity was bold. That's the only thing I can say here. Bold. How dare she go to Tanzania, another country, and tell guys how things are done? She was that bold. But look, these guys in the East African tourism platform already fed from that energy of hers, and they started putting structures together. And today they are in place. So you need to partner with somebody who has a shared vision, Charity. However, when you do that, there are some pitfalls. What have been the pitfalls that you have experienced in this striving of your mantra of excellence in all your interactions? What are the pitfalls?
Well, pitfalls are many, but then you must rise above them. As I said earlier on, when you fall forward. So that means you'll come across possibly certain projects, you'll share ideas with people. Along the way, they will kick you out and they will implement their ideas. Ooh. But the most laughable thing is, I've had you all know about the Serengeti Marathon. That was my idea, but somebody took it up. Okay, I shared, I brought them in, and we did some research in Masai Mara for the Mara Marathon. And, after a couple of months, I saw the launch of the Serengeti Marathon. But then when I sit there and feel bad about it, no, just let it be. There are many other opportunities. I came up with a wine festival in Dodoma again. So I went in for a meeting, I did my researches and stuff like that. And then the next meeting, I think after about a week, the lady I was going around with sent me an email telling me that they want me as part of a committee to arrange the wine festival. My idea, now I'm being invited to go and become part of the committee, and I was in charge of PR and communication.
Yes.
And I again went back to my silence button. I never responded to any of their emails. They went and launched, but they did a shoddy job at it. So one thing that I learned is that, one, always research on the people that you want to partner with. You don't have to partner with everybody. Silence is key. If you have an idea, you've not finished cooking it and stuff like that, keep quiet about it. If it's something that you must share with people, make them sign a non-disclosure agreement. You must have an NDA. Yeah, so if I come to you, I have this idea, I'm going to ensure that you sign an NDA so that you cannot replicate the same idea elsewhere. So those are some of the pitfalls that I've found in business. where trust is concerned. And if you realize that you can't work with somebody you don't trust, don't work with them.
Yes.
Yeah. Like this person I was telling you about, who I went with in 2019, called me, I think a week and a half ago, and asked me, are you doing the Love Festival? I said, we're not doing it because of COVID. I said, I wanted you to give me a job in the Love Festival. And I said, sorry, I cannot give you any job because you don't feel it. It's not part of you. So work with people who have passion for what you're doing. Yeah, so those are the pitfalls that I came across, and most of them are based on trust issues, really, and lack of integrity.
And lack of integrity, yeah. Lack of integrity is actually a big one today. And these are the core values that we endeavor to show the girls and lady in waiting, where integrity is a core value that you need. If you don't have it, you can actually, it's a learned one. You can learn it. Because what you want to start doing to yourself is create a list as to the good things that would come out when you are an honest person and the other things that would come out. So there's a good things, and we're talking about good things when you're talking about values here, not good things because your pockets will be full of money, but good things that will be able to be a good experience, a good example, a good feel for people who are watching and they aspire to be like you. So yes, we look at integrity and we say this is something that is important and we need this in today's world. Integrity, integrity, integrity. I mean, whenever some things are needed, and this is now me going off cuff, if there are certain deadlines, let's say a government deadline that you're supposed to run something by a certain time, already we find individuals seeing the opportunity, but this is a negative opportunity, Charity, unlike the opportunities that you've shown us. And this is the opportunity for corruption and for bribery. And yes, the pockets do get full, but all the wrong reasons. It was not something that you did from a point of integrity. And the children, the next generation is watching us. And it will be very sad if this becomes the norm. You know, so your child is sitting in the house and you're like, you know, how come you're not doing well in your exams? Don't worry, mom, we'll bribe the teacher for better results, because that is the kind of society that we will go into if we're not able to just, you know, rein it in and check into our integrity issues. So yes, when we're working with people, definitely integrity is important, but I really loved you. I loved the way you were bold. Let's just look at some other pitfalls that could just trip us off, Charity. Some people would start out and expect success right away. And where am I coming with this? You've come in, you've started Tandaza Africa, you have put in all your resources and you've put in your money, you've committed other people's money as partners or as shareholders. You have created a business plan. And the business plan is telling you about numbers that are supposed to come in. And therefore, you're all expecting success right away. Could this be a pitfall, Charity, in your opinion?
Oh yes, your expectations must be managed because you cannot expect to get success right away. In fact, my initial, when I started off, I told you I had partners, and I had to reach a point and tell them, just get off, you know, get off. It's my company, it's my idea. We are not in sync, get off. So that's what happened. I also had to address certain issues where integrity is concerned. And really, if we are not working well together, you don't need to be partners with anybody. And the other thing is, a lot of people would think that possibly if you do it, say like a tender or something, you're bidding for a job, you have to know somebody. No, 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 no. You don't need to know anyone. Your expertise and how you approach the whole thing is the most important thing. Even if you come and drop $10,000 here, expecting that you'll be given favor, you won't get favor because even God cannot give you favor because you're doing the right things. Yeah, you also must be grounded well spiritually at the end of the day, because why would you want to do things that you cannot do out in the open? Yeah, those are some of the things that you look at. Whatever it is that you do, and I always tell even my kids, if whatever you're doing it under the cover of darkness, just know that one day it will come to light.
Oh, yes.
So if you're doing something in hiding, expecting that people will not know, they will know. They will come and figure it out. They will find out. Yeah. So we must understand that integrity is key, and also as women. Women in tourism, again, I'm going to address this because, like, if you're a manager in a hotel, a lot of men will come in and expect favors from you.
Yes.
Right? In this case, I mean sexual favors. So you must be strong and you must have the right morals to tell them no. But then again, how do you tell them no? You must tell them no in a way that you still are able to maintain that friendship and that business. Over time, I have built a strong network, a really, really strong network. Why? Because I would know how to tell you no, softly as a woman, gently, but also firmly. So you must be able to do all those things together. So at one point, I'll make you angry. The next minute, I'm smiling at you.
That is so true. Thank you so much, Charity, for that authentic sharing, you know. I like that, to be gentle, but to be firm, because these are realities in the hospitality industry of women being fair game. And unfortunately, women allowing themselves to be fair game. I like what Sheila is saying here. She says, one of the top women in tourism in Africa, billions of people on our continent. Thank you for sharing your passions and truths. Charity Githinji, you are a gem. Lucy Macridis, you're an epic connector. Oh, thank you so much. Hey, Charity, you are a gem. You are a gem. You have shown us today.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. You have shown us today that we should not try to be a superwoman. We should use our connections, like you have just told us. You should work with partners, but then you've got to be very careful and do your due diligence on your partners, because in this partnership also your ideas can be taken away, can be stolen. It's all about adapting and adopting to whatever it is that is before us. So you've covered all these. Oh dear me, it's already the hour. We literally have 5 minutes to go. So we are on top of the hour, Charity. Could you just share with us some giveaways, things that we can internalize and go away with? You have been very candid in telling us how you have started Tandaza, how you arrived at the choice of this career. You told us about the negative voices, you know, telling you that you will not make it. You overcame it with passion. That is so, so powerful. You were able to look at the opportunities and attract them, you know, just by your narrative. And I think it all is coming from your mind. You choose to be positive. And these are lessons for all of us, that we can do stuff if we are able just to look at the silver lining. You told us about the opportunities and we shared about the risks. And we closed off with the pitfalls. I mean, other pitfalls that we try to be superwomen and do all the things on our own. We try to expect success right away. And earlier on, you alluded to the passion. You were not going for the money, you were going for the passion. I mean, you were giving your services for free. Imagine that, yeah? So these are great things. However, something that we can walk away with, Charity, just 3 things. What would they be? And before you go ahead, Rosebell Mogambi says, yes, we need to refuse the flower girl attitude in boardroom. Oh, I hear you, Rosebell. Did you hear that, Charity? We need to refuse the
yes.
Oh, thank you so much.
Always take the process.
Yes, so true. Give us your 3 takeaways, please.
My 3 takeaways: keep a positive mindset, eliminate the fear factor, and diversify your product portfolio. I'm also in online Forex trading, so you can always catch me on that as well. And yes, it's been a pleasure being on this platform.
Whoa, I love the way you just threw in that Forex trading right there. So before we get there, let's just look at the mindset. And I like what you're saying. And with mindset, it all comes across with positive mindset, your growth mindset, abundance mindset. I love it. I love it. You're speaking our language. Eliminate the fear factor. I love the way you talked about the voices that were coming in and blocking you, and you overcame them with passion. I'm taking that away with me. Diversify your product, and then you just threw in Forex trading. I can give you a minute, Charity.
Well, I think we don't have much time, Lucy, but Forex trading is a digital space. The next year is not going anywhere, but it's a way you can be able to make good money, of course, with the right skill set, and be able to supplement what you do. You already know those in tourism, how 2020 was. Without diversifying your product portfolio, you possibly went down. Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you so much, Charity, for that. And I do hope that you will visit the Facebook page and just share with us your comments to what other people have commented here. I see Modeo Morenga is here with us. Thank you so much, Modeo, for joining us. We are just finishing, and we've had Charity as our great guest today, talking about the things that she does. She loves them, but she was skewing it more to her experience, and there was a lot of lessons there. She has signed off with a positive mindset, eliminate your fear factor, diversify your product. The way we are always told, don't have all your eggs in one basket. So do your diligence on partnership so you can spread yourself and have some synergy. Charity, asante sana. There you have it from her. She is a formidable force in entrepreneurship, clearly. She's able to see and make the best of advantages and opportunities. And the lessons today, I mean, they are just on point. Thank you for sharing your story with us, Charity. Indeed, excellence should be strived for in everything that we do. And here Jackie is saying, Charity, you're a go-getter. I love your positive vibe. And with it, you can inspire many. Love it. You see, inspiration. And so for anybody watching, do you have an inspirational story? Something that you can help the society move to greater heights. We would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Lucy, I'm going to say in terms of inspiration, I inspire young boys and girls. Samburu last year, we did 2,000 in partnership with others. So for young people, young leaders, I'm happy and ready to come and mentor them at any given time.
Amazing.
On leadership.
I told you in the beginning that Charity wears many hats, very many hats. And we wanted to tap into these areas of her life for inspiration. And it's just coming out. I mean, guys, if you've got it, you've got it. And this is one woman who's got it. This is one woman that I thanked for being part of my life in 2020. Charity pushed me in areas that I did never, ever thought I would even go and read. Some of them I gave up because I found that I was too stretched. But what did she do? She showed me that what I believed was impossible could be done. This is a woman who is formidable. This is a woman that we need to know. Charity, thank you so much. And please come on to our Facebook and just drop a few comments there. Even your contacts, I'm sure there are those of us in the audience who'd love to know about you. Now, the month of love is upon us, ladies. The month of love is upon us. Next week, we'll be talking about love, and you don't want to miss out. And I repeat, we have got hashtag sharing mapenzi, and we want this hashtag to trend. All you need to do is go to my IG, and my IG handle, my Instagram handle is at lucy.macridis. I want you to pick out that particular post on hashtag sharing mapenzi, and I want you to post it using hashtag sharing mapenzi for a chance to win a seat at my Awakening Self program that runs in February from the 8th to the 12th. And when you win that seat, you need to share the love. You need to share mapenzi and give it to somebody. That is how you're going to share the love. I've got 3 spaces on my Awakening Self program. Make it happen for somebody else. Ladies, it is exactly 4 o'clock. I want to thank you so much for your time, Charity. Thank you. And for all of you who actually signed in today. And let us help build one another. Remember to love, to like our pages, to share, to comment for a chance to be part of our community. And until then, be kind to yourselves. Bye-bye now.